If you've been in the dating game or are newly entering the dating game, i.e., the talking stages, you'll know that some people you run into may possess some annoying or downright intolerable habits. So, allow me to highlight things that she definitely shouldn't be doing during the talking stage of dating, which could be a really big red flag in the future. Gloss over some of the things I'm about to mention to your own detriment. Cut her off if she does these during the talking stage of dating. Welcome back, my name is Jessica and this is my YouTube channel. Let's jump right in. Number 1, inconsistency. If a woman you have plans of taking seriously is inconsistently available to you, as in here today and gone tomorrow, then that's a definite red flag. If someone really wants to date you and get to know you, they'll pull out all the stops. She'll make the effort to meet up, keep the conversations going, etc. However, if she doesn't show you these little green flags from the onset, you're better off without her. Wondering where she may be or who she is with when she's unavailable to you could cause a lot of friction and suspicion down the road, which is why the next point I'm about to give you is also very critical. Number 2, poor communication. In all aspects of life, communication is the primary source. Without communication, nothing can go on. Now, if you're dating someone and they can't properly communicate with you, that's an ultimate deal breaker, because really, how else are you going to get to know each other? And once you know each other, how are you going to keep that relationship going? Question you should ask yourself is she communicating poorly because she's not that into you? Or if she can go days and hours without speaking to you, that probably means that you aren't one of her top priorities. Likewise, if they seem to fall off the surface of the planet for some reason, that's also a clear sign of lack of interest. In fact, ghosting is probably the loudest way to say you don't care about a person. Number 3, lack of interest or one-sidedness. Now, if you feel like you're doing all the work and the other person is just coasting by, there's a big problem. One-sided relationships rarely last. Each person has to put in the same effort to work as a partnership. Has that person shown any interest in your career, in you? Are they curious to know more about you? Do they bother to call you after you've met? Does she respond to your messages or calls on time? The little things matter. Don't gloss over them. Number 4, blatant disrespect. If you find that a woman is disrespectful and you call them out on it and they don't change, that's a deal breaker. The first few dates with a potential partner will reveal so much about a person if you pay attention to factors such as body language and other forms of non-verbal communication. Your eyes can often tell you what your ears cannot. People may try to put on a facade initially, but if you pay close attention, you can often see through the deception and know whether she's good for you or not. Number 5, conflicting morals or values. So everyone has a way they were brought up. Granted, each person's values and ideals may differ, and that's why this point is so important. Listen, if someone you're dating doesn't know and respect your morals, they will treat you any way they feel is appropriate. However, before you throw in the towel, always remember that there are opportunities to share and make people truly understand where you're coming from and where you stand when it comes to issues. Teach people how to treat you. In other words, set the standard and stand firm in it. If you say no calls after a certain time and they call anyway, don't answer. If you aren't comfortable in any situation, speak up for yourself. No one will treat you how you want to be treated unless you make it known. And if your requests are reasonable and they refuse to still conform, that's a red flag. Number 6, questioning everything you do or say. So is she questioning everything you say even though she has no reason to? Does she seem to be serious about her unfounded statements? Is she a non-believer from the start? Then there's perhaps no future with her. Why? Because she'll never believe anything you say. Now, depending on which part of the world you're from, a lot of women will simply ask questions like, are you sure about that? Really? Stuff like that. Take note. That's not what I'm referencing here. I am, however, saying that if from the get-go she never seems to give you the benefit of the doubt and is constantly questioning your good intentions, it could stem from two things. One, either she doesn't trust you for some reason, or two, she's dealing with past relationship trauma. If it's the latter, you may have to decide if you want to be the one to help her overcome whatever it is she may be going through. Because she's questioning everything you say, she'll either overanalyze your words or constantly think that you're lying to her if you go into a relationship with her. Number 7, making assumptions about who you are. Now, one of the worst things you can do when you're dating is assuming someone is a certain way before you truly get to know them. Stereotyping someone is the quickest way to get them to shut down and lose interest. Placing stigmas on people is not only unfair, but dehumanizing. If you walk into a new situation with old baggage, you're bound to keep dragging it along forever, and in most cases, alone. There are many times guys have told me that women judge them by their looks and call them players even before they truly got a chance to know them. This may be a red flag because the image she's drawn up in her mind about you may not match who you truly are. Alternatively, there are women who feel that men are supposed to act a certain way, and so when you depart from the stereotype, she starts to ask questions. For instance, you may be a guy who's a little more emotional than the average Joe. She'll penalize you for that by making smart jokes at your expense constantly. In such a woman's mind, men are supposed to be a certain way, and so if you depart from it, you're probably no good for her. Number 8, addiction issues. A lot of men have the savior syndrome. They feel it's their place to save women from themselves, their bad habits, their shortfalls, etc. After your first few encounters or interactions with her, you realize that she may have issues with substance abuse. Never go into a relationship thinking you can change her. The best you can do for her is to help her seek professional help to help her through those challenges. The reason you truly don't want to get involved is because more often than not, a lot of people who swoop in such circumstances and act as the savior end up needing saving themselves. If there are bad addictions that she's dealing with, don't jump into a relationship right away. Thank me later. Number 9, unfair expectations that turn into deal breakers. We're all human. And sometimes we ask for too much or expect too much from a potential partner. But when you're dating, she needs to remember that the other person is human too. For example, when she expects you to go above and beyond for her all the time without so much as lifting a finger to assist you, thinking someone you're dating should come in and save you and go above and beyond for you, in my opinion, is really unrealistic. You're responsible for yourself. Expecting someone to spoil you and spend all their money on you while all you do is take should be a deal breaker, or to say the least, a red flag that men need to be wary of. You meet a girl today, and suddenly, under 1 week, she becomes a voluntary orphan, expecting you to cater for not only her, but her friends and family as well. Now, although every situation or instance is peculiar, I don't believe it's a good sign for a well-meaning guy. If you have the means, by all means, go ahead. But if not, please cut your coat according to your size and desist from pursuing such a woman. In conclusion, all the pointers that I've labeled today are not cast in stone, right? Substance overrules all when it comes to deal breakers. If you're dating someone of high quality, then shallow, superficial things can be overlooked or corrected. As you get older, your views and preferences change, and you care more about what's in a person rather than what they portray, right? This might mean that your deal breakers are a person with no depth, an unkind heart, a selfish or inconsiderate person, or someone that lacks intellect. If you want substance, some things like their attire, car, current living situation won't be a deal breaker because it's all changeable. Also, having a nice car or clothes has nothing to do with whether someone's actually going to be a good match for you. The best thing you can do when dating is to be observant. Don't look for deal breakers. In fact, don't look for anything. Instead, hear exactly what is being said and pay close attention to actions. These key things will help you decide if you're willing to deal with, this particular person. Start every relationship with a fresh perspective and leave all the poor experiences of the past in the past, and you should be fine. I hope you found this video beneficial. If you did, share it with someone else who might need to hear these words. My name is Jessica. Thanks for watching and listening. See you in the next video.